Okay, well, good Monday afternoon, Jet fans. Good victory Monday afternoon, Jet fans. It is 12:39 p.m. It is December 9th, 2019, and Week 14 will end tonight um, with Monday Night Football. I didn't even, it's Giants, of course, with Eli Manning at the Eagles. Um, and then we have a short week with our Jets as they travel down the turnpike into Baltimore to face the red hot Baltimore Ravens. But before we get into the Jets and everything that happened yesterday, let's go around the league. Let's take a look at what happened. Um, Cardinals and Steelers. The Cardinals are just another game where they keep up but just can't get over the hump. They lose to the Steelers 23-17 in Pittsburgh. Steelers go to 8-5. They are very much in the midst of a wild card. Cardinals fall to 3-9-1. Tennessee hands Oakland their fourth straight loss um, as Tennessee beats the Raiders 42-21 in Oakland. Tennessee goes to 8-5, and they are very much in the wild card race as well. And what about Ryan Tannehill? And the joke around the New York area is, look, as soon as Ryan Tannehill got out of Sam Gase's system, look how well he's playing. I hope that's not the actual fact of the matter, because Sam is still under Ryan Tannehill's. Actually, Adam Gase's system. Sam Donald is still under his system, and probably will be for at least one more year. In New Orleans, what a game. I mean, we were at the Jet game yesterday, and I was looking at the score, and it was like 24-20 something first half. It ends 48-46. San Francisco goes to 11-2. New Orleans goes to 10-3. Can this be an NFC Championship game preview? That would just be outrageous. But what a game! The Chiefs and the Patriots. Um, a loss. Patriots go to 10-3. First game they lost, I believe, in almost 2.5 seasons at Foxborough in the regular season. Um, the Chiefs go to 9-4. They beat the Patriots 23-17. The referees did have some say in this game, and as a Jet fan and anybody who doesn't like the Patriots, you don't feel bad for them. But the referees did screw up two calls. One was a fumble by the 10 end, the Kansas City Chiefs, where they blew the play dead. It was picked up by the Patriots and ran it for a touchdown. Upon further review, it was a fumble. The Patriots did recover the fumble, but it wasn't a touchdown. They had to go back to the line to the point of where the whistle blew. And then later on, the Patriots wide receiver leaped from about the 3 yard line, got inside the pylon for a touchdown. It was whistled that he was out of bounds. Bill Belichick at that point was out of challenges, and they couldn't challenge it. And it turned out not to be a touchdown. They lose by 6. Um, like I said, you have no love lost for the Patriots, because how many times do those calls go against the team playing them? But you want to get the the calls correctly. And I've been saying the past few weeks, the referees have been a big part of the results of games, and they were a part of the Jet game yesterday. We'll get to that very soon. Cincinnati and Cleveland, the Battle of Ohio at Cleveland. The the Browns go to 6-7. They're still slightly in the wild card race, I believe. 27-19 over the 1-12 Bengals. And like I said, tonight the Eli Manning show, one last hurrah, probably the rest of the season. Um, Starts off in Philly against a team that he had a big comeback against years ago, against an NFC East divisional rivalry. I'm hoping Giant fans make the trek down the turnpike into Philly to see this game, because you're going to see either Eli's last 4 games as a Giant or Eli's last 4 games as an NFL player. And as a Jet fan, um, I have to say, respect to Eli. He beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl, but that game is tonight. Uh, if you want to talk about Jets, well, right now, 9 years and counting. And 9 years and counting is 9 years without a playoff berth. It seems like, yesterday, I can remember everything I did that day, the last time the Jets were in the playoffs. It was January 2011. It was in Pittsburgh. It was my niece's first birthday party that afternoon. Um, and I can remember leaving the party. The party was just about over, and I was leaving the party to come out to Jersey to watch a game with my father and my best friend. My grandfather was out here, my mom, and they were watching in the other room. But I can remember leaving the party and saying goodnight to my father-in-law, kissing him, and saying, "The Jets are going to be in the Super Bowl. I can't wait." And he said the same thing. I can't wait. And I think my cousin Richie, who follows this as well, was at the party that day, and I was like, "Rich, I have all the faith in the world. After they beat the Patriots, I have all the faith in the world. We're going to pull this one out." Um, and I can still remember pulling up to my parents' house uh, and saying, "All right, well, the Packers won. It's going to be New York, Green Bay Super Bowl." And the Packers have beat the Jets, I believe, earlier that season, like 9-3 on two bad calls also. But the Jets walked off the field that day. Rex Ryan threw his headset down as Roethlisberger got the first down late in the fourth quarter to kill the clock. And that was the last time the Jets played in the postseason. And I never would have thought, after 2 straight years with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, to AFC Championship games and coming up close in that second game and the first year against the Colts. We were leading in the first half. I never thought we'd go 9 years without even sniffing the playoffs. You go back 6 years ago when Bowles was 10-6, um, or 9-7, and we missed it by losing out to Buffalo and Rex in Buffalo. But that's how long it's been. So you go into a game yesterday where it's mild, it's a cold day, but it's not a rainy, windy day like the Oakland game we went to 2 weeks ago. But they're coming off a loss to the Bengals, and to me it felt like the second preseason game of the year, where you're going to get a crowd, somewhat a late arriving crowd. Of course, the weather is usually nicer in August than it is in December, but it's not going to be a very electric crowd. It's not going to be a very into a crowd. I honestly have to say, and this is no disrespect to the Dolphins, your fans usually show up. There was one section, or I should say, two half sections in the Dolphin sideline corner end zone that there were Dolphin fans in. Usually, Dolphin Nation represents a lot more than that. In my section, there was a handful, and throughout the bottom levels and the mezzanine levels, the top level had some, but there wasn't Dolphin fans like there usually are. And you having 3 wins and us having 4 wins can do that. I just thought these tickets might have been bought earlier, but it was a late arriving crowd, a very quiet crowd. We cheered, we booed. Um, we got up on third down, but it wasn't the electric that there was a couple of months back. There wasn't the electric that there was against that Dallas game or first game. Even against Oakland. I mean, the Oakland Raider fans came out in droves. I would say it was about 30% Oakland Raider fans there. They were loud. So we had to drown them out. But yesterday was kind of like, who's talking about Christmas and whatnot. Um, the Jets came into this game without Le'Veon Bell, without Jamal Adams, um, without Mosley, of course. A lot of their starters were out. I think they said Marcus May is the only starter on defense that's started yesterday that's been starting every game. Quentin Williams left with a stinger late in the game. Bilal Powell left late in the game with I think an ankle injury. But this is the state of the Jets right now. Bilal Powell was fed that ball yesterday. I'm trying to see where I have the stats here, but more than I think Bell got it. Bilal Powell was 19 rushes for 74 yards. He averaged 3.9. Now, usually Bell is averaging 3.5, 3.4, 3.8, something like that, 3.9 possibly. I don't think he's exceeded 15 carries in a game. I'd have to look that up. But Powell got it early and often. Um, he got 74 yards on the ground. Altogether, I think they got like 112 rushing on the ground. To me, it's almost like a double-edged sword, where Adam Gase doesn't like to break 100 yards rushing. He likes to just throw the ball. But he doesn't like Le'Veon Bell on the team, so he fed the ball to Powell until he got close to maybe breaking 100. He got to 74 yards. Of course, then Powell got taken out because of the injury. But it's almost like, all right, we got over 70, let's pull back. Sam went 20 of 36 for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 bad interception he shouldn't have thrown. Um, the touchdowns uh, two great plays. One was Sam finding Robbie Anderson after scrambling, and Anderson getting away from coverage and getting it over the middle. The other one was Demarius Thomas, who caught the ball, fought to get to the end zone, got hit. Um, when he hit the ground in the end zone, it looked like he bobbled the ball. They called it incomplete at first, and then it was under 2 minutes, and they challenged it under 2 minutes in the first half, and it was a touchdown. Fitzpatrick did more with his legs than he did with his arm. Um, Fitz went 21 of 37 for 245, no touchdowns, one INT. He should have had two INTs. And this is what kills me. This is why I say the refs can cause the outcome of this game. Fitz threw an interception, um, picked off, brought in for a touchdown by the Jet defense. Nobody touched him. As he's running back and everybody's going wild, I turned to my kids and I said, "There's a flag down." Um, they brought it back, defensive holding. Now, yes, was it holding to the extent of the rule? Yes, it was a mild hold. It didn't impede the receiver. The defender actually jumped the route and caught the ball. The ball would have probably skipped before it got to the receiver, but it was called back, um, and I believe they kicked the field goal after that. The Patriots, the Dolphins. Um, but the referee called that. The referee called. Let's see. I'm trying to think of another call that the referee made that just, I mean, they were just outlandish calls. And that was actually the theme towards the end. The Dolphin field goal kicker hit 7 out of 8 attempts. He missed one on a bad snap. The Dolphins were in the red zone 6 times. So the Jet defense, who was bare, actually held the Dolphin offense 6 times in the red zone. Now, okay, it was the Dolphins. It wasn't a big deal. But for a team that's depleted like this, like the Jets, yes, it was kind of a stepping stone. Um, so, I give props to Greg Williams, the way he wrote up the defensive scheme. They did get to Fitz. They could not get him. I think they sacked him once, but he was just all over the place. I'm trying to see if I have what he ran for, but he rushed, I think, 7 or 8 times, picking up first downs here and there. Now, I am not a huge Robbie Anderson fan. I always said he was only good for one thing: put the afterburners on, throw him a deep pass. He did catch one like that yesterday, but he caught 7 passes yesterday for 116 yards and a touchdown. He ran some great routes. He made some nice catches on balls that Sam overthrew. I think Robbie can help Sam a lot. I think he is an asset. We do need a true number one, but Sam could be that true number two. They're showing highlights now on NFL Network behind me. And I'm trying to see here. Oh, they're just showing the fourth quarter, and I'll get into that. Sam threw the through the 9 different receivers. 8 of them caught passes. Um, Thomas had 2 for 28 and a touchdown. Um, Vincent Smith had a huge one, and I'll get to that. Um, so, like I said, Sam threw a bad pick in the second half. It was when they missed the field goal. The Dolphins missed that field goal, and it was a 21-19 lead with less than 2 minutes to go. Now, prior to that, the Jets had they were trying to get down the field. They had a 2nd and 2, and they couldn't get it. They had a 3rd and 2, and they couldn't convert. And then on a 4th and 2, they couldn't convert, and they gave the ball up. The Dolphins then started running the ball. They went very conservative. The Jets used all 3 timeouts. So they had about a minute 40. No, I'm sorry, minute 30 after the Dolphins took the lead of 21-19 with the late field goal. So the Jets get the ball back, and they have no timeouts. They got to use the sidelines. They got to use what they could use to get down the field. And I'm gonna say this right now. Every time Sam Fickens went up to kick yesterday, I didn't think he was going to hit it. In warm-ups, okay, they practice off, it looks like a tripod tee. So basically, it simulates a finger holding the ball as a holder would. The first kick he kicked towards our end zone, okay, which was the opposite end zone which he was kicking, which the Jets were going into in this direction. He missed the upright to the left to his left, to our left, whatever you want to call it, by about 4 or 5 yards, and it landed in the second row. That was the first kick. After the Jets scored the touchdown, he missed the extra point. So every time he lined up, everybody was just like, the extra point and the field goals got more cheers, I think, than the touchdowns. So now the Jets get the ball, and you figure you don't want him to kick anything more than a 35 or 38 yarder. Because if he's not hitting field goals, if he's not hitting, you know, extra points, what are you going to do? You got to get as close as you could. Well, first play from scrimmage, uh, Sam looks to his right. He hits Vincent Smith on the sideline, and the Miami defender goes to deflect the ball, and he misses it. Vincent Smith catches it, and he turns upfield, and now he's going up the sidelines. And now, basically, he gets them to maybe 4 or 5 yards away from field goal range that the CBS is saying they should hit. Um, it was a 37-yard reception. It was tremendous reception. I mean, before it was there was a, before it was defended by the the DB. I mean, the hand went across the guy's face. He had to make the catch. Smith made the catch. Had to turn upfield. He leaped over somebody. I mean, it was just a great run. Okay, now you figure, all right, and I'm like, let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. Even though the clock is running, the time is on your side. You can always down it. Sam takes a sack. Then it's an incomplete pass. Then they have like 3rd and 17 after the sack, and that I mean the 17 won't even put him in field goal range at this point. Um, and you know what? I got to pass it, and I'm thinking if you're gonna pass it, go for it all. Um, and he turns and he throws it to Marius Thomas, and it's over his head. I immediately yelled pass interference. You could see it. Um, the hand got there quicker. The defender was turned around off the ball, and now you're looking at 4th and 17. And I'm like, they got to review this. They got to review this. The Jets line up, and as they line up, they blow the whistle. They're reviewing it. The Miami Dolphin head coach. Now, whether he saw it or not, whether he knew it or not, his actions on the sideline basically gave away that it was pass interference because he just went nuts on the ref. And after a few minutes, they come back and say pass interference, defense. So now it's first down. The Jets pick up a few more yards. And instead of going, they had like, I guess 28, 23 seconds left. And in a way, I can understand why they did it. In a way, I don't. I would have ran the ball. They spiked the ball with 3 seconds left. Now I would have ran it. I wouldn't have tried a pass because if you get sacked, now you're really out of field goal range. And Ficken comes in with 44-yard attempt, and I'm thinking there's no way. If this was a 47 or 48-yard attempt, probably doesn't hit. He probably hits the upright, but he hits it through, and they win 22-21. They go to 5-8. The best they could do was 8-8. Um, it was a nice win. It was nice to get a win. Like my wife asked me, was it a good game? Hey, they played 13 games so far. This is their 5th win. It's a good game. You know, Sam was not impressive. Sam was good enough. There were a few times where he missed receivers. There are a few times where he made plays with his feet. There are a few times when he made some risky passes. Um, I want to say that he will learn as he gets older. I want to say sometimes the reward is not worth the risk. Um, excuse me. Like yesterday, the Jets ran a wide receiver reverse, where when Sam flipped it to a back, the back flipped it to Robbie Anderson, and in the end, he gained 4 yards. Uh, you know, I don't know. There was another play right after the half that Fitzpatrick did a reverse with a flea flicker and it lost a yard. So these gimmick plays sometimes do not work. Um, the Patriots had a gimmick play yesterday, but when you have a gimmick play and you have Tom Brady on one end of it, it's going to probably be successful at one point or another. The Jets were doing anything to muster up some offense, and it was almost like they got some offense going early and then they slowed down again. You know, um, So all in all, a nice day at the game. It was dry. It was a nail biter. I'm glad they got the win. I'm glad they got the 5-8. I'm glad we beat the Dolphins. Um, we didn't get swept by them because it was the last 7 games they've beaten us. So you go back, they beat us once this year, twice last year, twice the year before, um, and twice the year before that, I believe. So it was nice to get the win. Um, was it a big victory? No. What it showed me, and I listening to sports talk this morning, is it showed me that Adam Gase is saying we can win without Le'Veon Bell, and I don't know why he doesn't like him or why he feels we can win without him. He's a superstar. I do know he's a year removed from the game, so maybe he has some rust on him, but I think he could be a vital part of this offense. And Sam, um, it was nice to see Jamal Adams on the sidelines cheering on his fans, cheering on his players, getting the fans riled up. He had a towel going. So it was a nice game. They have a short week this week. Thursday they go to Baltimore, where the 11-2 Ravens are looking to steamroll and take the #1 seed, by a chokehold. I will get into that on Wednesday. But for now, I'll take the win. We're going to find out what's going on with Bilal Powell. We're going to find out what's going on with Le'Veon Bell. You almost want to think worst case scenario at the end of the season is Le'Veon and Jamal Adams both gone, or one of them gone. Which one would you rather see gone? Would you rather see both gone? Would you rather see one gone? Would you rather see them both on the team? Um, I don't know. Bell hasn't impressed me this year, but he's impressed me in the locker room. He seems like a good guy in the locker room. 2 years of losing make him a bad guy. I don't know. So that's it for today. www.nyjetstories.com. That's www.nyjetstories.com. Facebook at nyjetstories. Um, Facebook page. Our Twitter handle is at nyjetstories. And of course, on YouTube, nyjetstories. Alex Parziale is our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Leave us some input. Leave us some feedback. We got the game yesterday. We watched it at home. Like I go on Twitter and there's some people like I didn't go to the game. I'm proud to say I left my seat empty. Um, there's an old New York daytime sportscaster. I used to do sports talk. Sid Rosenberg, who is no, um, he has been part of controversy in the past. And a tweet from either yesterday or early this morning was, "I don't understand Jet fans. You're over there cheering on a win when you should be cheering on for losses so you get a better draft pick." Now I'm going to say this: if you tell me we miss out on a draft pick who's going to be the superstar of the NFL for the next 20 years because we won 5 games, I'm going to be a little pissed off. But the draft is a lottery. You don't know until maybe 1, 2, 3 years later how your draft is doing. Um, to give up and say, "Oh, I don't want to win to get a pick," as a fan, I don't want to do that. I want to cheer for a score. I want to cheer for a win. I don't want to cheer for a tie. Um, as players, I want my players to win, and as a coach, I want you to coach to win. Because if you're going to be here next year, I want you to set the stage, set the culture to what your culture is going to be. And if it's a winning culture, I don't. I am not a fan of Adam Gase, but if he proves me wrong, I will accept that. I will take that. I will apologize. Prove me wrong. The culture right now is just up and down. It's almost dysfunctional. Um, so for Sid Rosenberg to come out and say that, Sid, give me a break. I won't bring up the stuff you've done on the air and off the air that's gotten you into some trouble. But to say that we shouldn't get happy, or for somebody else to say, well, you shouldn't go to the game, tickets are paid for well in advance. Parking's paid for well in advance. You know what? You want to go there and say, don't buy food? All right. Don't buy a hat? All right. But you know what? At 1-15, 4-12, 10-6, 8-8, AFC Championship game, no playoffs in 9 years, I'm still going to buy stuff. I'm still going to root for this team. So, everybody have a great day. We'll talk in less than 48 hours on Wednesday. We'll do preview on the Jet game for Thursday, and then we'll do Friday a preview of the NFL coming up. Have a great day, guys, and talk to you soon.